Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as always, back on F1 2019. And this gameplay here today is from my 5-lap races that I was hosting, my open races that I was doing online, and we were doing one-shot quality in this. And this race was probably the favourite race that I did out of the whole time. I streamed this about a couple of days ago now, for about 2 hours or something like that. So make sure you follow me on Twitter if you want to be invited to these races or just know when I'm actually doing them. I'll probably be doing them a couple of times a week. So a lot of fun, really good at this. Decided to put on one-shot qualifying because the connection in the lobby was pretty bad. A lot of people had red bar connections, which I think is because of how many different nationalities that we're racing against here. So, but nonetheless, this race was really good. And we got an intermediate qualifying here today, running a full setup, so no standard setup or anything at all, running a full-blown setup. Laps going pretty nicely so far. I really do enjoy this track. Shame we have to wait for a little while. I think it might even be next game now, because I think the game's going to come out pretty early next year until we have to do this track again, if it is even on the game. I can't even remember if it is or not, but squiggling around a little bit, but the lap is pretty good so far. Coming into the last corner now, was pretty confident I could get the pole position in this, making a way to line using the remaining of our ERS, coming across the line, and it's a 21.6, which is pole position. So all good so far, but now moving on to the race now itself. It's a dry race, so starting on the soft tyres, don't really have to worry about fuel or anything, it's mainly just the ERS here. And we got, I can't even read the screen, but we got IGN and we got Nathan Atkin, who are very quick drivers here, and we get a pretty poor start. For some reason I always get really good starts most of the time online, but that time just far too much wheel spin. And now we've got this guy called Ash down the inside, and you can see a little bit of lag between the cars here, but the insane exit. This guy is just so quick in a straight line. I think it's mostly down to connection, because I don't actually think he's that far ahead. I think the connection was just really skipping around quite a bit if you're watching it. So going a little bit deeper, there's a little bit of drama behind us from the Ash, and I'm not sure who else has been pushed on the grass there. So now we're in a straight fight for this little mini race championship we were doing here. And as I said, you don't really have to worry about the fuel or anything at all. But these guys and the people in this lobby were incredibly quick. They're really quick, especially the Alfa Romeos in a straight line. They were just crazy quick. But going to this last sector now, locking up a little bit, trying to get a nice exit here. I was always quicker in this last sector. It was just mainly the first sector really. Coming into penultimate corner, a little bit on the grass. You really need to try and hook that curb before coming on to start the lap. And now starting lap 2 of this race. 5 laps only in this one here. Legend sets the quickest up of the race. We actually corner cut that corner. A corner I definitely need to work on. That's probably one of my weakest corners on the game itself. I think in reality I should be going in 7th gear through there, trying to get a nice exit, but Ash is all over the back of me, right up behind me, and you can see he's skipping ahead just a little bit again. But let's see if I get a good run this time. Can't remember what wings I was using. I think I was using like 3.6 or something like that. But you can see he's skipping around again, so I'm not actually quite sure of exactly where he is, but it's actually starting to bunch up a little bit, and it's going to this sector. I definitely felt through the corner as I was quicker, so it suggests to me that he's running definitely a low downforce setup. So we've got Ash right up behind me once again, and going through this sector now. This is the sector here. You can see the fuel, no real issue, but using no ERS just to conserve it a little bit. He's pretty quick actually going through this bit, but it's through these corners where I just gain the time, especially on the exit here. He always goes out wide here, and you can see straight away we gained about a car length or so going into this. Really trying to throw the car into this now, skipping once again, but now trying to hook the curb. That was definitely better than we did on the last lap. And now using just a tiny bit of ERS, but you don't want to be wasting it, as multiple people are setting the fastest lap of the race. That Nathan Atkin is the quickest guy now. Now let's see if I can get him on this main straight here. I think there's about 4 cars fighting for lead, or maybe even more cars. That was just clumsy, just running out wide here. But now with the DRS, still not gaining that massive amount. His straight line speed is very good. He actually leaves the inside again. He's skipping it, so I'm not quite sure where he is. Trying not to make contact, leaving a little bit of room on the exit of him, trying to do nice fair racing. And now it's a drag race into this left hand, completely flat out for this one here. He's still on the inside, so we try and go around the outside of him, but he completely slams the door shut. and I managed to somehow secure or still hold on to second place. Going to sector 3 now. Again, he's quite quick for this corner, but it's just through these corners coming up is where I seem to be getting the most amount of time. Again, he goes out wide. We take a tighter line earlier on the throttle, and now got to try and stay as close as possible going into the first sector of this next lap. He runs a little bit out wide this time. I don't think either of our lines were particularly good, and he goes out wide again. And now coming onto the start, the penultimate lap of this race, you can see he was just skipping, just teleporting right in front of me. And that actually makes me go out wide. That was just really, really distracting when people were doing that. But I just got to try and get past him out. Someone just absolutely dive bombs me out of absolutely nowhere. That Ash, it just got so much confidence at that moment. Again, I don't know if that's lag or if he genuinely meant to do that, but fair play. It was pretty come out of absolute nowhere. There's a guy in front of us, so I don't know what's happened to him. We go round the outside, left no room, inch or quarter whatsoever, and the Alfa Romeos are just completely ganging up on me here. And at this point, I was really determined to try and win this race now. So back into third place, going down the inside, just a little bit of a dummy, but again, not intimidated by that whatsoever, which again, I don't know if he knows I'm there on his screen or anything whatsoever, as we got someone up ahead who just decides to be normally the lobby idiot that tends to just wait for everyone, but luckily we managed to move through that unscathed, as now I'm coming under attack from the guy in fourth place. Now they're going side by side into the last corners. I try and look for space in the inside, which I do. I actually make a little bit of contact with him, but luckily I've got some fuel, or I've got all my fuel and ERS to push on this last lap now, so it's all or nothing here. Skipping again, trying to carry as much speed as possible. We're actually getting quite a bit of time this time, but Ash has got a little bit of a lead. So going into this now, I like to go slow in, fast out here, and get quite a good run onto straight, using all of the ERS, all the max deployment now to rich and overtake. And you can see again, I just don't know if that's them just skipping or just then just insane straight line speed. Decide not to go down the inside here, trying to open up the corner and get a better exit, which we do using hot lap now. And again, I'm not sure where he is whatsoever, but I'm really, really determined. They're just trying to overtake at least one of these cars. Was thinking about going around the outside, but again he slams the door shut. So now I give myself a better line. This is right hand. He actually turns in a little bit too early here, so I'm going to use the hot lap to the end of the race now. Sixth gear, try and really attack this. He actually goes out wide ever so slightly. He defends the inside. We go round the outside of him going into here, which gives us just about side by side, gives us the inside into penultimate last corner. That was one of the best moves that I've ever done. Coming across the last corner now, we come home to finish. Let's see if anyone else had any penalties. We come home to finish P3 on the podium with that penalty, and that was just a race I really, really enjoyed. I really enjoyed when we had a semi-decent connection and just good racing. A little bit harsh, but hard but fair racing, probably in my opinion. But yeah, that was a lot of good fun. So I want to thank you guys for joining me in that. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, because then I'll be tweeting out when I'm actually doing these races. Again, thank you so much for the support. My next stream will be on the Friday for ILR. Looking forward to that. As always, peace.